Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the Takeaways Podcast, Episode 8. This limited series is a special look into my new book, Takeaways, Secret Truths from Leading a Startup. This podcast is for entrepreneurs and other business owners anywhere who need some quick direction anytime they find themselves at a difficult crossroads. It's exactly what I needed when I was facing difficult daily decisions in the early weeks and months of my startup Looped. I'm your host, Brian Friedman. I'm currently the VP of Digital Innovation at Aventury, and previously I was the CEO and founder of Looped in Silicon Valley and then San Francisco. Today, I'm going to share with you how to sync your startup and your personal goals. So let's get started. Building a business is as much about architecting the right business plan as it is about aligning members of your team. With 3 co-founders from different parts of the world and different cultures, we knew early on that vocalizing our personal goals would be a necessary component of unifying our leadership and strengthening our company. In July 2014, we headed to San Francisco and did just that. 1 year after we met as summer students at Draper University, we gathered again in person to talk about our future. We were deep in the trenches of wrapping up our minimum viable product and navigating the disappointment of a key investor pulling his support. This investor was overreacting because of an unfounded rumor that I was leaving to complete my undergraduate engineering degree. And this uncertainty was only compounded by Alan and Sambhav, my co-founders, fearing that we were running out of capital. At 22 years old, I was at least 4 years younger than Sambhav and Alan. This age gap allowed me more flexibility in some ways, but more constraint in others. If I took a second leave of absence from Lehigh University in Pennsylvania, I was going all in on this startup and risking my ability to graduate. Sambhav from Hyderabad, India, was in a tenuous place with his visa status. He either had to return to Texas A&M as a full-time engineering graduate student or likely face deportation. Compounding these questions was the one certainty in his life that, like many young Indian Hindus, he had an arranged marriage set for 2016. With a strong sense of family like many of his fellow Taiwanese, Alan felt he should return home to Taipei to be with his aging parents and a longtime girlfriend. He was also concerned that he would tarnish his professional reputation if he did not complete the final year of his MBA program. Our personal issues only added to the complexity of our nomadic work situation. After leaving Draper University's co-working space at Hero City in San Mateo, we moved to San Francisco. We were the epitome of a scrappy startup, juggling operations out of cafes, co-working spaces, and the apartments of benevolent friends. There on the beach, we had an impassioned discussion to renew our original commitment. The pounding surf certainly bolstered my resolve, and as I shared my vision, Alan and Sambhav resonated with renewed excitement. By asking honest questions, we could determine where we were, where we wanted to go, and why. From those discussions, we each focused on these essential questions. 1. Where do I want to live? 2. What lifestyle, work, play, or a combination do I want? Number 3. What attributes do I want in the people that I work with in the future? Number 4. Do I want to take some time away from the startup world and reflect? Number 5. Do I want to go back to school to finish my academic work? Number 6. What are my financial goals? Number 7. What are my professional goals? Number 8. How do I want others to view me? Number 9. Am I in the startup game for money, fame, or solving world problems? And number 10. What are my 3 core personal values? By finally asking these questions, we could stop operating in ignorance and make decisions from a place of clarity and understanding. Instead of assuming equal commitment and capacity, we capitalized on our differences. That day, we embarked on a new Looped path and resolved to do the following. I would stay in San Francisco, fix a relationship with our upset investor, and begin taking part-time courses at local universities. I would assume responsibility for all business affairs as CEO, including operations, finance, and fundraising, and set up a headquarters office. I was also tasked with hiring hardware engineers, salespeople, and a marketing staff. Sambhav resolved to work part-time for 6 months while he finished his master's degree at Texas A&M. He would hire an immigration lawyer and return to San Francisco whenever possible. Alan made the choice to return to Taipei, where he could be less distracted by distant friends and family. From there, he would work full-time for Looped and work to build a talented software group there. While the separation was far from ideal, it seemed plausible with daily communication over Skype, email, Trello, and Jira, meetings in San Francisco every few months, and a strong commitment to our long-term product roadmap. Looking back at that day on the beach, I realize now the profound inflection point it was in our business. Perhaps by chance, we stumbled into a conversation about lifelong aspirations that unlocked a successful business partnership. Honest answers allowed us to build a viable roadmap regardless of our cultural background, physical location, or personal obligations. With a healthy leadership team, we could then focus on building a dynamic company of talented individuals. And that's the show. Thanks for listening to the Takeaways podcast, which is produced every Tuesday for your enjoyment, and show notes can always be found on my blog on Medium at Own It. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed. You can also follow me on Instagram, and you can sign up for more info on my new book at takeawaysbook.com. All of the links are going to be in the show notes, and until next time, keep following your dreams and own it.